What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Motorfest for more Made in Japan playlist challenges, but this time I have decided to do this a bit differently. So before I would basically go through every single challenge, basically one by one for one video, but I have decided that's probably not the best way to do this. So obviously a lot of players are going after this one right here, so you will have to do 20 challenges in order to get the V6 turbo engine for the JDM. So if you were wondering, by the way, you can also get basically most of the items unlocked in many of the playlists in Motorfest by just basically doing them solo, but if you do want the last item here on the end, you will most likely have to be in a crew. But nonetheless, guys, moving over to these challenges right now, so I actually have 10 done here, and from going through them, I actually managed to get all of these done basically in like an hour, so they really don't take insanely long to do once you guys really focus on them. I actually basically hunkered down and went through all of these insanely quick, so I would probably say many of them are going to be insanely easy, but the first one here is going to be Nihon No Speedway. Drive for 10 minutes on the highway and free drive at night. So for this, guys, I would recommend spawning over to the 911 Legacy icon. You can then jump onto the road there and head toward like the main city and then jump onto the highway. I would probably say that's going to be the easiest way, but do keep in mind though, it is going to be a full 10 minutes on the highway, so it doesn't matter how fast you're actually going, you have to spend 10 full minutes. And I did notice if you get into this too late, you will obviously have to do it twice, which is something I did have to do, but luckily this challenge is simple. Just make sure you guys are using the Toyota Supra and you'll get this done quick. But moving over to the next challenge, perform an overtake 10 times without collision in the event Kaisha Spirit. So for this one, guys, all you will have to do is then jump into this event, actually put the event on level 1 difficulty. You can then jump in and basically overtake the racers as many times as you need. And do keep in mind, by the way, you also do not have to complete this race if you don't want to. So once you get those 10 overtakes, you can then leave and actually work on another challenge for that matter. But moving over to the next one is going to be complete 5 escape feats by night. So for this, guys, you will have to use the Honda S2000, but there is going to be another challenge that's going to be very similar. You will have to complete 5 slaloms by night using the Mazda RX-7, so if you guys are fast enough, you can actually do both of these in one run, and they are going to be very simple. So all you will have to do is find an escape and make sure your car is slightly leveled, and then as soon as you actually complete it, basically restart, and do that 5 times as quick as you can. So these challenges are going to be very simple for that matter. But moving over to the next one, perform a donut in the event Wangan Spirit and win the race by night. So for this, guys, you will obviously have to use the Honda to get this one done. Luckily, the Honda is actually going to be a great car, but for this, guys, put it on level 1 difficulty once again, and then as soon as you start this one off, basically spin around, and then race toward the objective, and you will most likely win this, especially if your car is leveled just a bit. So luckily, this challenge isn't going to be too insanely difficult. I would say the hardest part, though, at least if your vehicle's not leveled up that much, is most likely catching up to the AI, so I would definitely leave that on level 1 difficulty to make this as easy as possible. And then moving down to the next one, guys, win the event Toge Spirit. I most likely didn't say that right. Equipped with the custom tires by night, so you indeed will have to use a drift car in one of the races, but trust me when I tell you this, guys, this thing is stock and it actually handles very well. You can also throw on one of your vanity tires and get this done fairly easy. So once again, if you were struggling though, lower that difficulty down just a bit. I normally did these on like level 1, 2, 3 to make them a tad easier, so it really can get them done insanely quick. But for the next challenge, guys, reach the max combo multiplier times 50 while drifting in the event Ibusu style. Now, when using the Mazda RX-7, I would say this is probably the easiest challenge to do, mainly because getting a maxed out multiplier with this car is actually fairly simple, and surprisingly this Mazda is also pretty dang good. But for the next challenge though, guys, reach a speed of 249 miles an hour in this event. So this is indeed the drag race event, so I would probably say this is going to be a very easy challenge as well. Even with a stock level Nissan GTR, you can easily get this done like pretty much first try. And then for the next event though, you'll have to get a perfect gear shift, perfect burns, and or perfect starts in every run in this event. So for this, guys, I would recommend using a stock Nissan Skyline GTR because I actually found this a bit easier to go through those gears perfectly when using a stock car instead of like a maxed out one and or a leveled one. So I did find that to be much easier going that way. And you also can put this on difficulty level 1. That way you really don't have to actually rush when doing it. So For this one, guys, I would recommend keeping the Nissan Skyline stock because it did seem to make this a bit easier. And of course, you can also lower that difficulty to get this one out of the way, but overall, it really is going to take a bit of focus, and having a stock Nissan is definitely going to be easier than a maxed out one. But for the last challenge here, guys, reach a speed of 186 miles per hour in the event Kanjo style. Now, I would say a lot of players are most likely going to get this one done fairly easy because the biggest thing here is to have this card leveled just a bit to make this a tad easier. So this race, by the way, does have a big straightaway, making this challenge a lot easier than some of the others. But besides that, guys, many of these challenges really aren't that bad, and I figured I would basically show all 10 of these to make this a tad easier. And I figured it would be a lot easier to jump into like one video and basically get all of these challenges done a lot faster instead of doing like 15 to 20. But there is going to be one of these challenges, guys, I will have a tag on the screen for. Find all the dragon collectibles located near the Japanese temples. So this challenge is by far going to take a good amount of time to do, mainly because they are actually spread all across the entire map. So it's not that it's going to be hard, it just is going to be a tad time consuming. But besides all that, guys, if you have any questions regarding these challenges, let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.